All right, guys, good evening to everyone. So, the final day of the draft is upon us. The draft is finished, has been completed. So, I'm going to go ahead and recap all of the 49ers draft picks, give you a little idea of what I think here, and see hopefully how they fit into the fray. So, first round, Nick Bosa, Ohio State defensive end. Now, the 49ers picked this guy up. Of course, there was a lot of controversy with him behind his tweets, his love for Donald Trump, all that good stuff. Speaking of Trump, he called and supported Nick Bosa and congratulated him on the fact that he got drafted. I'm assuming he did that obviously because Nick had posted that he loves the guy and then that wished him happy birthday, all that stuff. So it is what it is, ain't but it ain't. Don't even care. One thing I can say is the guy came out and he said that he apologized for the things he said. He understood that the things that he stated were insensitive as well. He did also state that he was looking to become a better person and living in California will help him grow as a human being and whatnot. So I'm going to take him at his word, because he's got to walk in that locker room and look at all those, people and look at, a locker room that's probably 80% black and make sure that he comes correct because believe you me, they'll run him about that motherfucker if he don't. Far as Bosa, strictly football, I don't like the pick, and the reason being is because the last 2 years he's been injured. I don't want an injury-prone player. If you're not on the field, you can't produce, and if you can't produce, then what good are you to the team? So I'm just being honest with you. Everybody can have their own opinion of it, be optimistic. We can hope that he stays healthy and he is able to help us produce some sacks and, get some good pressure on the quarterback. But by all accounts, the last 2 years, that doesn't necessarily bode well for us. So next up, we have Deebo Samuel in the second round. Now, this is the wide receiver out of South Carolina, and his actual first name is Tyshawn. His father gave him the nickname Deebo after the character played by Tiny Lister Jr. in the movie Friday. If y'all don't know what that is, Friday After Next. We had Deebo there. So Deebo Samuel, wide receiver out of South Carolina. Now the guy's good, but once again, another player that has had some injury problems in the past. But I mean, his past season right now was actually really good. Did some really good things. Then round 3 comes and we draft another wide receiver. And this time we draft wide receiver out of Baylor, Jalen Hurd. Now Jalen Hurd was once a running back. And, he basically played running back and he switched over to wide receiver this last year as it pertains to his information, online and everything like that. So, I mean, I don't really love the pick because I felt like there were better receivers out there that we could have drafted. But, I mean, to me, it is what it is. I don't really see a lot of value in the guy, but I feel like Deebo Samuel and Jalen Hurd are guys that fit in Shanahan's system for what he wants to do. He likes small, quick, twitchy guys. Like, those guys that make plays. They're basically the guys that catch the ball and they get the yak and they get the rack. Yak is yards after catch. Rack is run after catch. So it's iffy because these guys may fit the mold. I can understand and see, how they would feel like this was a good move for them, but I don't know. The last 2 guys that we drafted, I was like, all right, I guess. So, moving on rapidly, we are going to move into the 4th round. And the 4th round here was a bit of a shocker, as it pertains to us, because the first pick in the 4th round was a guy that I definitely wanted on the squad, and this guy is a beast. I feel like he's the next coming of Randy Moss, and it's unfortunate because the goddamn Cardinals picked him up. That was Hakeem Butler out of Iowa State. If you've never seen the film on this guy, he's fucking amazing. I mean, he's way better than Jalen Hurd from what I've seen, so I have no idea how he passed up on this kid, but he did go ahead and go to the Cardinals. But we picked, and I'll never understand this. I mean, Bradley Pinion's gone. So I was under the assumption we still had Pinion, but he's gone. So Bradley Pinion is gone. We spent a 4th round pick. Mind you, 4th round pick. 4. Where you can still get a player of high value, get a player of good caliber on a punter out of Utah named Mitch Wisnowski. Huh? See, this is the stuff that makes me question what Shanahan does and what Lynch does and what decisions they're making over there and what the fuck is happening behind closed doors. Who drafts a punter in the 4th fucking round? The only time you ever seen the kicker go the 1st round was Seabass. And for people who don't know who that is, Sebastian Janikowski. But, you know, I mean, this is what makes me start to question what the hell's going on in the building, because it makes no sense, you know, when it comes down to us and what we did. So we didn't have a 5th round pick, but we went ahead and wound up picking one up and picking up a couple other picks because we traded Dakota Watson over to, I believe it was the Denver Broncos, so we could get a pick. I mean, Dakota Watson wasn't shit any fucking way. He hadn't done anything, and he was always injured. So I see that we didn't really have much of anything. So we trade Dakota Watson. Then we go and draft a linebacker named Dre Greenlaw out of Arkansas. So from what I'm seeing on NFL.com, Greenlaw should be an immediate impact player on special teams. They're saying that Salah's going to like the range he brings, you know, as a rational weak side backer. A rotational weak side backer, I apologize. But, you know, I mean, there's nothing really, you know, on this guy that says that, you know, he's a spectacular pick. You know, prospect grades, 5.2, I guess. I don't really know what these prospect grades are. But, you know, I mean, he's 5'11", 237, you know. And there's not really much there, you know. 33 on the vertical, you know. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know much about the kid. So, you know, I'm just going to get back into the rest of the guys that we drafted. I'll give y'all a more in-depth video probably tomorrow or maybe even a little bit later today. But, you know, for me, I'm looking at it, and then we are in the 5th round. We drafted this kid Greenlaw out of Arkansas. I believe we wound up picking up another pick, or did we? No, we did not. So we wound up going into the 6th round and making a couple picks. So in just a moment here, we'll see what we did. So we drafted a tight end out of Stanford named Caden Smith. We don't need a tight end. We have George Kittle. We have viable backups already on the squad behind him. You know, I mean, this is another thing that makes me start to, once again, the picks here make me question what we're doing. You know, I mean, they're saying that Garrett Stellick's on the wrong side of 30, entering contract season, you know, and this kid Caden Smith can help. But I mean, I don't know. I don't love the pick. It seems wasted, like a lot of our picks this year, you know. And I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer about the stuff, but I'm just being real with you guys. Like, I don't like when we waste picks, because I feel like if we can get a good player of value, why are we wasting the pick? So we drafted this kid Justin Skule out of Vanderbilt, offensive tackle, in the 6th round as well. There wasn't much quality, you know, depth at tackle. And of course we got Joe Staley, and they're looking for his eventual replacement because we already have McGlinchey, who's sure enough the right side. But, I mean, if this kid's going to be there, I'm assuming that Staley's going to have to kind of train him for at least about a good 2 years before he can take over. I don't even know who the hell this kid is. Never heard the name, none of that. So we got that guy, Justin Skule, and we went and we picked a cornerback, Tim Harris, of Virginia. So Harris is a better player than his draft position suggests. His injury history forced him to slide, but he could emerge better. So once again, another player who's been injured. What a coincidence. So it starts to get murky when you start looking at these draft picks. The shit just doesn't add up, man. I feel like we wasted the draft on dudes that we could have got, as undrafted free agents. We're drafting people that we don't even need, So we go into the 7th round, and it doesn't look like we had a pick at all. So we had 3 picks in the 6th, no picks in the 7th. So we basically had picks in rounds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But, to me, I'm just going to be completely honest. I feel like the draft was a wash for us. If I had to give us a grade, I'd give us maybe a D-, a D+, at a bare minimum. And that's strictly based on the fact that we just didn't get any real value out of the picks that we had. Honestly, our first 2 picks were a lot of mock drafts by experts, pretty much. I can say that. A lot of people had us picking Deebo Samuel in the 2nd round. A lot of people had us picking Nick Bosa number 2 overall, and we went with those picks. So to be honest with you, this is literally how a draft shapes out. 1st round, Nick Bosa. 2nd round, Deebo Samuel. 3rd round, Jalen Hurd. 4th round, Mitch Wisnowski. 5th round, Dre Greenlaw. 6th round, Caden Smith. 6th round, Justin Skule. 6th round, Tim Harris. Defensive end, 2 wide receivers, a punter, an outside linebacker, a tight end, an offensive tackle, and a cornerback. No. We needed a lot more depth at cornerback because though Jason Verrett is a perennial Pro Bowler, when he's actually healthy, when is he actually healthy? That's the question. We traded Dakota Watson to draft some dude named Dre Greenlaw, and my biggest issue is I honestly don't like our system. I don't like this 4-3 fucking cover 3 shit, whatever the fuck Robert Saleh runs. I don't like it because it's not produced anything. Now this is year 3 of the Lynch and Shanahan era. We need to make the playoffs. If we don't make the playoffs, there's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of talk about who's going to lose their job. And I can tell you right now, it ain't going to be Shanahan because he's the head coach. John Lynch will be out of a job, and he probably won't get another GM job ever again. Strictly based on the fact this dude doesn't know what he's doing when he drafts. Look at this shit. So, okay, you draft Nick Bosa. You're banking on the fact that you hope this guy is healthy enough to be able to produce on the field for you. Last 2 years, he's been hurt, so we'll have to see. You draft Deebo Samuel, another guy with injury history. Played 1 year, injured a year. Played a year, injured a year. Played a year. You know what I'm saying? Jalen Hurd. This guy, is he a running back? Is he a wide receiver? He's just a gadget guy. I feel like he's Reggie Bush but taller. Mitch Wisnowski. He was a 4th round pick. You can get this guy in the 6th round. He could have been the last guy we picked. Nobody's going to pick up a punter. I don't even think any other teams drafted a damn punter. So he wasted a 4th round pick on a punter. I don't care. We value these guys real high on the draft board, and we like them and we feel really good about it. Let's shut the fuck up. That shit is stupid as hell. I hate when he says shit like that. It's dumb. It just makes me think that he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's never had a GM job before. Then we get this guy Dre Greenlaw out of Arkansas. Okay, I don't know who this guy is, and there's nothing about him that says he's great. Caden Smith, tight end out of Stanford, to back up George Kittle because Selleck's on the wrong side of 30. And when are we actually going to use Selleck? He can block. That's what we need him to do. We want to throw the ball, we'll throw it to George Kittle. And at the same time, last year it was Selleck time every time his ass got near the end zone, so I don't know how the fuck he just went from good to bad. Justin Skule, don't know who the hell this kid is. He's out of Vanderbilt. I'm very confused. Tim Harris, cornerback out of Virginia. I'll have to look at the tape. I'll see what this dude does and what's going on. I feel like John Lynch had this love for injured players, but it is what it is. I'll see y'all in a minute. I'm going to give y'all a better video as far as a little more depth on these guys. Be easy, stay blessed, have a good evening. Go Niners.